I am Saurabh Uttam Sawan, currently studying in EMCA first year in Vishwakarma University, Pune. Now I am presenting here Project 2. Topic is Models for System Development. There are three models: waterfall model, V model, and spiral model. Now I am explaining first model is waterfall model. This is the diagram of waterfall model, and these are the phases in is used in waterfall model. What is waterfall model? Waterfall model is a famous and good version of SDLC, System Development Lifecycle, for software engineering. The waterfall model is linear and sequential model, which means that development phase cannot begin until the previous phase is completed. We cannot overlap the phases in waterfall model. Waterfall model also works once one phase of development is completed, then we move to the next phase, but cannot go back to the previous phase. Now I am explaining some phases in waterfall model. First phase is requirement phase. Requirement phase. In this initial phase, all the requirements of the software are gathered and analyzed. The project goals, function and contribute and documented. Then second phase is design phase. This phase based on the requirements, the system architecture and design are prepared. This phase include the design of both software architecture and data models. Third phase is implementation phase. The design is translated into source code using a suitable program language. The system is developed in small units which are then tested or functionality. Then fourth phase is testing phase. Individual units are integrated into a complete system. The system is then tested to identify and fix the defects or issues. Testing ensures that the software meets the specific requirements. Fifth phase is development phase. Once testing is completed and the software is stable, it is developed to the user environment. This phase may include installation and the configuration of the software in a real world setting. Then sixth and last phase in the waterfall model is maintenance. After deployment, the software is maintained to fix the issues, update features, or handle a new requirements. Maintenance ensure the system continue to perform effectively over time. Then second model is V model. This is the diagram of V model. V model. What is V model? V model is an SDLC model. It is also called verification and validation model. V model is widely used in the software development process, and it is considered a discipline model. In V model, the execution of each process is sequential, that is, new phase started only after the previous phase ends. Now I am explaining some phases in V model. The first phase is requirement analysis. This is the first phase of the development cycle in which the requirement of product are analyzed according to the customer needs. In this phase, product related requirement are collected from the customer. This is very important phase because this phase determine the coming phases. In this phase, acceptance tests are designed for later use. The next phase is system design. When we have the requirements of the product, after that we prepare a complete design of the system. In this phase, a complete description of the hardware and all the technical components required to develop the product. The next phase is architectural design. In this phase, architectural specifications are designed. It contains the specification of how the software will link internally and externally with all the components. Therefore, this phase is also called as a high level design, HLD. The next phase is module design. In this phase, the internal design of all the modules of the system is specified. Therefore, it is called low level design. It is very important that the design of all modules should be according to the system architecture. Unit tests are also designed in the module design phase. The next phase is coding phase. The coding phase coding of the design and specification done in the previous phases is done. This phase take the most time. The next phase is validation phases. Acceptance testing. In acceptance testing, the acceptance tests created in requirement analysis phase are executed. This testing ensure that the system is compatible with other system, and in these non-functional issues like load time, performance, etc. are tested in the user environment. The next phase is system testing. In system testing, the system tested created in the system design phase are executed. System test checks the complete functionality of the system. In this, more attention is given to performance testing and regression testing. The next phase is integration testing. Integration testing, the integration tests created in architectural design phases are executed. Integrational testing ensure that all modules are working well together. Then last phase is unit testing. In the unit testing phase, the unit test created during the module design phases are executed. Unit testing is code level testing. It is only verifies the technical design. Therefore, it is not able to test all the defects. Now, I am explaining our third model is spiral model, and this is the diagram of spiral model. What is spiral model? A spiral model is a software development lifecycle model that provides a systematically and iterative approach to software development. In its diagrammatical representation, look like a spiral with many loops. The exact number of loop of the spiral is unknown and can vary from project to project. Each loop of the spiral is called a phases of the software development process. There are the four phases in spiral model. First is objective determination and verify the alternative resource. It is means that requirements are gathered from the customer and the objectives and identify, elaborate and the analyze at the start of the every phase. Then alternative solution possible for the phases are proposed in this quadrant. The next phase is identify and resolve risk. In this, during the second quadrant, all the possible solutions are evaluated to select the best possible solution. Then the risks associated with that solution are identified and the risks are resolved using the best possible strategy. At the end of this quadrant, the prototype is build for the best possible solution. The next phase is development the next version of the product. During the third quadrant, the identified feature are developed and verified through the testing. At the end of third quadrant, the next version of the software is available. Then last phase is review and plan for the next phase. In this fourth quadrant, the customer evaluate all the developed version of the software. In the end, planning for the next phase is started. Now, see the advantages and disadvantages of spiral model. Advantages is risk management. Risk management, the model emphasizes on the risk analysis, helps identify the risk early, reducing the potential project failures. Then next advantage is flexibility. It allows for the changes in requirements at any stages of the project, making it identical for project where requirements are expected to involve. Then third advantage is early detection of issues. Early prototyping helps in identifying the potential problem, ensure the correctivity measures can be taken before the investing significant resources. Now, disadvantages of spiral model. First is complexity. The model structure is complex. Recruiting, carefully planning, risk assessment, and constant coordination. Then second is high cost. Risk analysis and repeated iteration can make the spiral model expensive and time consuming. Then third disadvantage is not suitable for Small project. This model complexity and cost make it less suitable for small or low risk project. This is the three models I am explaining in models for system development topic. And thank you so much to listening my presentation.